Welcome back to Space Engineers and to our nice entrance bay to our base. Whoops. And you'll see I've got a rather big landing gear here. Well, that's because what we're going to do this episode is build a large ship. Now, we're not going to go through insane ships. We don't really have the space in this bay yet for insane ships. But we can build a miner that is bigger than this one. And it's built using slightly different principles. What I'd probably like to do, let me see if I can show you what I mean, and then you'll probably get the idea. So if we just take a look at this, obviously these use the large static drills. You can rotate them. They have a port on all sides, including the back, so we don't have to worry too much about connecting them, other than, you know, getting to the back. And then we could build a wall of drills, and on much larger ships that's the common approach, because you'll have a huge amount of area back there to put reverse thrusters that won't, you know, hit the back of these. You'll have 5 block space, so that will work very well. However, in this case, what I'd like to do, I think, is try and put the reverse thrusters sort of crosshatch pan in between the drills, and we'll see if that works or not, or if I have to re-engineer things. But that seems like a decent approach to do, and I'm not going to make this too big. So maybe something along the lines of 5x3 or something along those sort of approaches, I think. Let's just put this down. 1 and 2. And then back to the drill. How many is that? It's 4, I think. Yeah, and I probably want the drills on the outside at the bottom, so I'll put them here. And then all we need to do is just fill in the rest, which isn't terribly hard. We'll just put these above any of the drills. There we go. We may not even need this many reverse thrusters, but it may be worthwhile us building it in now, just in case. Oh, it's going to autosave. There we go. So that is 5x3, and just one more thruster. And that's the front drill face. Now, that's much larger than this ship over here. If you just stand in front of it, you get the idea. This is just 6 sort of drills right next to each other. Small drills. This one, it's 2 to 3 times the size, which should help. Now, you notice I've not left any room for a cockpit, and that's intentional. On a large ship, the larger you get, the less you need for one of these cockpit units, and the more these ones down here. It's hidden somewhat. Yep, the less you need those, and the more you just want to just have a seat or a control seat or something along those kind of lines. We're not going to need to pressurize the thing. Obviously, it's just not going to be big enough to pressurize it. If I put an outside wall, we'd have 1x3 to stand inside. It would just end up too long if we try to sort of build in too much stuff. So, well, why don't we just think about what we need to do to access these things. So we need to connect... Certainly need to connect the central cross, and then we've got the outsides as well. So we may not need all these spaces, and that means that we can just use them for other blocks, but we're certainly going to need them connected this way. So let's just grab something to connect them. A conveyor. Do I already have them on my bar? No, of course I don't. Yeah, let's just grab the conveyor, and we're going to go for a junction. There we go. I'm going to need interior plate. I'm going to need to rob that from somewhere. Let's just produce some interior plates. Ooh, good handy tip someone mentioned, a control shift I should have tried. It produces thousands rather than hundreds, which is very nice for me. There we go. So let's put the junction there, and there. And we're also going to need to connect this somehow. So why don't we just, for now, go with a sort of shape like this. And that'll give us 4 spaces here to do everything else. So let's see how that actually looks. And the easiest way to do that, of course, now that we have a welding ship, is to weld it up. So connectors disabled. Let's just get out of here before it decides to re-enable them. And you can see how tiny this thing is compared to everything else. Let's just go like this. Sort of reminds me of some undersea movie, like some oceanic movie, like, I don't know, What's the one with Ed Harris and Mary Stuart Master Antonio? The Abyss? Yeah, something like that. Which is not a nice film. It's sort of a very, yeah, creepy film. I'm out of thruster components. That's something I'll need to get stock of, but I just didn't transfer them to this welding ship. And of course, it needs quite a lot more. If you have a look at the thruster components, it needs 80 per thruster on a large ship. I may have to revisit that decision. We'll see. I hope I have enough. Let's just do the back of this thing. And remember not to get out until you turn your thrusters off. Not that I nearly killed myself earlier on today. Just doing the rest of the bay. There we go. It's much nicer being able to weld and not have to go and refill all the time. I definitely recommend a welding ship, even if you think that you have more than enough space in your inventory. And if you're not playing on 10x settings like I am, it's just a necessity. You just have to have one. Alright, so let's get that done. And again, we're short on thruster components. So we're going to need 80 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to need 14 of them. So that's something like 1,000 thruster components. At least for front and back, and then we're going to need side to side as well. So we may as well make a few thousand, and hopefully I have enough stuff to make them. Let's get in here a little bit closer. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to weld all of it, because I might be too close. Yeah, these drills might be in the way, but I can always hand weld those last few pieces. But now hopefully you get the idea. Obviously there are no lights on the front of this thing, but I think those drills are going to clear one room around the outside of them as well. So even though, well, let me just turn these, yeah, turn them off. Even though this thing is 5x3, as long as we don't try and put something in that block there, that diagonal, which might be more than one effectively, it's one diagonal, but I'm not sure if that's cleared completely. As long as we go up one level or out one level, these should clear things okay. And let's just, yeah, just clear that up. Need some more construction components. Fine, so what are we going to put beyond that? Well, that's a debate. We might well put some gyros back here. That is, yeah, some kind of space that would be nice to have, I think. Gyro. And, oh, I've already got my bar. Okay. Need steel plate. I always need steel plate. Let's just produce even more. And we're also going to want those thruster components, aren't we? So let's just start building them now. Let's say 4,000. Cobalt, gold, and platinum. Not sure if I have enough, but we'll have to go mining with our other ship if we do not have enough. Is that the right cargo can? No, this one. No wonder I can't see anything. There we go. Just want enough to actually start building stuff on the back. Do we want gyros here? I think I do. Yeah. Let's assume 4. And now we need to think about what we do with our ore. Slight problem is that I don't think we can use ejectors on large ships, and because we're going to be getting rid of, yeah, it's only a small ship, because we're going to be getting rid of a lot of rock, we're going to need to do some onboard sort of processing, in that if I hit ore, I don't mind. We've got the same thing as this current miner, but this current miner can't eject the rock. Neither can this, because it's, yeah, the only one that can is the one that's on the surface of the planet. I'm not bringing that up here or rebuilding it and stuff like that. So we're probably going to need a sorter and connectors at the back or something along those lines that will spew out rock on command. But if we don't get that, we're going to need to contain it somewhere until we start needing to eject things. So what are the sizes of the cargo? See, a large would be great, but it's going to be as big as this ship, I think. In fact, we can already see that, because if I just put that for a second, you'll see how big that is. It's 3 tall, and so is this ship. So we could put a cargo block. I suppose. You're not going to let me put a cargo? Yeah, there you go. So we could do this. And I'm not saying I won't. That'd be an interesting start, because all these conveyors are connected to it, so it'll be our buffer before anything else picks up. Not sure what it's going to be like to try and move this thing, though, with a large cargo can. But we can always rebuild it with a small one. It'll take up less room, I suppose. So that's one handy thought. What else do we need? And how many thrusters do I have on the front? I have 5, 6, 7. Okay. Then I'm not going to do onboard processing. That's for a much larger ship than this that has maybe 6 or 8 of these things on it. That's a different type of class of ship at all, completely. Beyond this, we're going to then want a sorter. And because this is just occupying to the edge, I want to leave some space around the outside, particularly as I'm going to need thrusters for up and down. So this is going to be this face on over here, and up and down over here maybe. Side to side, again, they're going to stick out, and hopefully those drills will clear enough room for one to stick out here. Otherwise, all the left to right will have to be further back. So I think I'm just going to build as simpler as corridor as I can here, and that I can just do a sorter, conveyor sorter, and I'm going to want a connector. I'm going to need one to dock with, and that's going to be an interesting question as well, in that this is right at the bottom, so as long as those drills clear, it should be fine, and we can put it potentially here, and we'll have a dock built into the floor down here. Okay, so that leaves the conveyor sorter, so let's just put that, rotate it around here. And anything that is rock is going to head backwards from here, isn't it? So we do then need a wall potentially at the back of connectors. And I think I'm going to build another junction wall, just like this, but at the back, because then we'll put the forward thrusters in between the spaces, and we'll have the connectors on the back be just like the drills on the front. Seems like a decent idea, nice and symmetric. What do you guys think? Think it's not going to work? Well, we'll see. So I'm just going to put that in because that's the mirror of the front, so there's nothing new there. Let me skip forward until those are in. Okay, so here's the wall in operation, and I think I don't have enough platinum processed yet to make all these thrusters, so I may have to wait till next episode to fly this thing. But you get the idea if I just pop in here and turn on our welders. Mainly I just keep running out of steel plate, but that's not too terrible an issue. Yeah, we've got one thruster up and running. I transferred a couple of hundred thruster components, but that's not a great deal. Let me just move back here. Is there anything else I can weld up? Probably just to show you how everything is set up. Let's just weld in here. I don't think I have any reactor components on me, but we'll give that a go. Maybe I do. No, I don't. Okay, close enough. Let's just weld that up. Alright, and then let's just back out, turn off the welders, and then I'll give you a quick tour of what I've done. So, in here, let's just look at it from this side. We've now got the large cargo can. Underneath, I've got one connector. This is sticking out, I'll admit, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to slam against anything else around it, and that means that I moved these up and down thrusters. I made it so that the bottom ones don't stick out near the connector. I'd rather not the thrusters slam into the floor here. The upper ones are sticking out by one, so if you can think of a way of improving that, I guess I could put them here. But then that would be harder to get into this thing. That's the other option, but I do have room for that. So that is one option for us to do. I'll have a think about it between the episodes. On the back, got the same kind of setup as the front. We've just got large thrusters. Well, small thrusters, but on a large ship scale. Get that right. Then we've got the connectors in the crosshatch pattern in between them, which we will set up with the sorter here. We'll set this up to whitelist only stone. It should be in here somewhere. There we go. We'll add that, and that needs to be a whitelist. And once all these connectors are done, the first one is the docking connector. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why are there 8? Aside from the docking connector, that is. There should be 7. One on the bottom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Never mind. I miscounted clearly. So yeah, the one label connector 1, which I built first, the docking connector. Let's just make sure I rename that. So connector, there we go. And then we will rename that docking. Just so I don't include it with the rest, because the rest we're going to add a group, and we're going to have stone, connectors. Let's just call them ejectors, shall we? Because that's what they're going to be. Save that. And then we can just click on ejectors, and then we say we want to collect all and throw out. And strength, we don't want that at all, so we just disable that. So now, whatever comes through here, which is going to be stone, will go to these connectors, which are now ejectors effectively. And then what we'll also do is set them. We've already set them up in a group, so that once we have some way to fly this thing, we don't have a seat or a cockpit yet. We will just be able to put them into our G menu, put them onto the hotbar, and then just disable them. I turn them off, because if we're not, well, even if we are harvesting stone, we may not want the ejectors to throw stuff out all the time. We may want to do it in batches. So that is one handy thing. So let's do. Oh, can I just? Is the gravity field large enough for me to go down a little bit and just walk around? No, I'm going to need to extend that a little bit. So we've got a reactor here. It's on this main conveyor line, and I've sent that up one and then across, just so that we can probably have an entrance on either side, unless I put those thrusters in place, and they make. You know, they just make nicer sort of aesthetics if we don't have anything sticking out beyond the drills at all. So why don't we just put those in place now? And then we'll have to get in through the top, I'll appreciate, but I care less. I'd much rather have that really nice aesthetic. So there we go. 1, 2, 3. And there's 3 left and right just below that. So we're going to have 6 in total. Positioning thrusters, and 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 forward and back thrusters, and we'll see how well that does. So let's tip you up and put you in. So here we go, and that then sort of leaves a little bit of space here for any other things. So if we need more gyros, we can put them at the top here, and then our entryway would be coming down this way. And I don't think stairs can be that steep. I think they're kind of a shallow thing, so I'm not going to have any room for that. Maybe is that a junction? That's a junction, so I can't exactly build that there. See, normally I would put stairs here, but we've got that reactor here. I could put it there instead, I guess, but this is not going to be under gravity anyway. We've got a beacon here, and let me just put a block here just so I can walk on it. Beacons are different to antennas in that they can't relay things, but we don't much care about relaying other things, so a beacon is cheaper, and we'll have that running. And then we just need some space in here. I think I may well just seal off this side and have a single entrance. Yeah, because once we have this, and what's that, ion thruster? So once we have this entrance, I can put down some flooring in here, just a few, you know. What do we have for floors? It's like catwalk, is it? It's like catwalk plate or something like that. Yeah. And then we'll just put that down. I'm gonna need one for the. Let's just put it down like this. Yeah, and it should be a level space to walk on. I'm not sure if you can put a seat on top of that. Let's give that a go. So seat, flight seat, that will do the job. Or in fact, we can just grab control stations here. Yeah, looks like we. Oh, can we not? No. So we can't put the flooring down where the seat is. That's fine. So flight seat or control station. I'll have the flight seat, I think. So there's our seat. We've got the reactor accessible here if in case I need to refill anything manually. We've got some open area, and then we've just got the back wall of ejectors and thrusters, the front wall of ejectors and thrusters, and then a cargo can with a connector on the bottom. Okay, that still slightly annoys me that that connector is just sticking out, but this is probably about the smallest large ship I can think of that's actually sort of useful-ish. It is a bit long, I'll give you that, and without reducing the size of that cargo can, or indeed having these thrusters stick out, we could put them there and then try to bring this in. If we wanted a space inside anyway, we could probably bring this in by one at the back, but that's not a terrible difference, terribly good difference I should say. So I think that's pretty much as good as it gets, and that's where I'm going to leave it over to you guys to comment here. What do you think? Do you think we can get a better mining ship to start with? Before we get into tunnel bores, we're not going to go into tunnel bores, and it's probably best that we don't go into rotating heads just yet. So, well, I guess you can rotate the head. You just set a gyro override, and your whole ship will just start spinning, as you probably set a thruster override at the back as well, and then it will slowly start moving forward and spinning as you go. But we're clearing out a space that should hopefully be nice and flat walls, and that is something that we're going to want to probably do with, you know, a nice flat drill pattern rather than a cylinder. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I did want to just get started. This is a short one just to get this ship on the go, and then I will build this between the episodes, and then we'll try it next episode. And if it's not good enough, well, we have some extra room to put on top. I could put up to 10 extra thrusters, essentially front and back. So we can build this out if we need to a bit more. If we're going to do that, we can then also stick things on the top here for increase up and down, and then we can rotate things outward if we need to, pointing outwards this way, to have a line of like 6 per side going left to right. So we can make this larger. That's not a problem. It's just that, yeah, I'd rather not if we don't have to. If we're going to do that, I'd rather have the drill head pattern be larger as well, but that's a different topic. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you next episode for some more Space Engineers. Feel free to like, subscribe, share if you haven't already, especially subscribe. More than happy to hear that. We're coming up to 5,000 subscribers on the channel, so I probably will have a giveaway as soon as we hit 5,000. It won't just be to subscribers, so if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. It'll just be for everyone, just as a commemorative thing for hitting 5k. We did one when I hit 1k, and it'll just be a game giveaway of some kind, you know, anything up to, I don't know, 40 quid on Steam or something like that. Yep, so that is this episode, and we'll see you next one. As always, guys, thanks for watching.